what do we do?
Running would be a good idea.
Godzilla, rated PG-13. Science cannot explain him.
We're looking at the dawn of a new species.
Technology cannot stop him.
The heat seekers can't lock, sir.
But unless we outthink him,
We believe it may be hiding inside one of the buildings, but you don't know for sure!
we won't survive him.
We need bigger guns.
Rated PG-13. Special first showings May 19th.
Toho was the company that had the rights to Godzilla?
Toho is the producer of all the Japanese version of Godzilla and also the distributor.
So how did you, I mean, and they've held it since ¡54. I would imagine this is the same thing, and I guess I'm a little older than you. I remember watching this on the $1 Million Movie on Channel 9 here in New York, which used to be KHJ out in Los Angeles. They'd run it continuously. So
well, I grew up in New York as well.
Okay, so you remember that, $1 Million Movie. So what finally convinced them to say, okay, you can do this, and you can hear the rights?
Well, timing. The timing was pretty good. I guess internally they were beginning to have conversations that if the right idea came along, they would entertain it, and they were happy with the proposal that we made. We presented to them the notion that this was probably 8 or 9 years ago. We said that the time was right to do a big budget American version, high-end special effects summer release version of the film, and that we would take it seriously and that we would be respectful of the legend. And they appreciated that approach and decided to take it a step at a time.
All right, so that's what convinced them. What convinced you, though, if my information serves me correctly, back in '85 you had a shot at this before, turned it down and said, we're not interested?
Actually, I first had the idea in '89.
All right, TriStar originally had a shot at it, did it not?
No, I don't think so. But
my information says TriStar originally passed on the project, citing lousy business generated the last time and hit the big screen in 1985.
That's true. TriStar did originally pass on the project.
All right, so what was different this time?
It's all individuals in the movie business, like most business. You know, the people that were running the studio at that particular time may not have seen commercial potential there. They may not have thought it would have made a great film. Ultimately, at the time, Peter Guber was running the studio. When he heard the idea, he got very excited and thought it would make a good film. In 1989, that was just when you were seeing the beginning of the trend of what is now summer event films based on icons and legends. You had Terminator 2 being made, and also you had morphing technology, the beginning of computer-animated special effects. So you're starting to see a trend towards higher-end special effects and bigger event summer movies. This film is going to be released in excess of 7,000 screens. Back then, if a film was released on 3,000 screens, that was considered a very wide release.
Yeah, I heard like 7,300 screens, something like that.
And climbing.
Yeah, let me ask you, the studio purposely has chosen not to show the entire monster in any one ad or trailer. How come?
Well, this was initially the notion of the filmmakers Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. They felt that the look of the creature was very important, and they wanted to preserve revealing it to the public. And this was just an obstacle that Sony had to overcome. I think they've done a good job of creating like a striptease type of marketing campaign here, where they reveal pieces of the creature every couple of weeks.
Pieces of him. Is he a nice guy, in a word?
He has his moments.
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks for chatting with us.
Anytime.
And good luck with the movie. Rob Fried, executive producer of the movie Godzilla, who has his moments. It opens in theaters next week, 7,300 or more of them.
Well, Godzilla's foot is about the size of a bus, but his resume may be even longer. The monster has made 20 big screen appearances so far. Dennis Michael looks at the creature's history.
It seems Tokyo has no defense.
The original Gojira clambered out of Tokyo Bay back in 1954. He became Godzilla, king of the monsters, for a U.S. audience in 1956, when an American producer bought the rights and stitched in some new English-language footage of Raymond Burr playing a wild and crazy American reporter named, yes, Steve Martin, for a grand total of $100,000. Godzilla has been a passing interest in the U.S., but an absolute phenomenon in Japan, spawning 22 sequels and some competitors, like the prefab replacement Mechagodzilla.
You're mistaken if you think your powers are a match for Mechagodzilla.
toyed with the idea of letting the monster talk, kinda, in Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Something funny going on. You better check.
Godzilla took on the environmental issue by fighting the smog monster, who looks like he was inspired by Picasso, and he battled the monster Mothra, who is always accompanied by a tiny pair of twin girls who do most of their talking together.
We come from Mothra Island.
Note that Godzilla had undergone an eyebrow job by the time of Godzilla vs. Mothra. Toho made its share of spin-offs, Rodan notable among them, and inspired a number of imitators. Gorgo is basically Godzilla with an English accent.
Commence!
And London Bridge is falling down. And that Godzilla monster movie structure continues well into the 90s. Look at Tremors, a recent Universal picture that has a strong comic undertone.
Must be a million of them.
Nope, just one.
Often imitated but never equaled, now he has been remade by the Independence Day team of Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. Thanks to computer animation, he's faster, smarter, more animalistic, more powerful, less an awkward stuntman in a rubber suit. Dean Devlin was concerned that the faithful fans of the King of the Monsters understand the update.
I think that when the real fans see this movie, they're going to realize that, yes, this is not like the 22 sequels, but it is very much in the spirit of the first Godzilla movie. And in essence, we feel that it's more respectful to have a new creature than to mess around with the old one.
So the idea wasn't to laugh at the new Godzilla, not that there aren't a few laughs in the new movie.
When you're dealing with a 200-foot lizard, the comedy is inherent. You don't need to put a neon sign and say, hey, isn't this funny? It's funny, it's scary, and it's exciting all at the same time.
In any case, long live the king. Dennis Michael, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Everything you ever wanted to know. Coming up in